Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now. In the last part, a number of things have happened. We had Deku and everybody else on Azarath. Now, Deku has family here, and he also has the woman he got pregnant here on Azarath. And recently somebody else showed up. Deku was trying to study magic, look into it a bit more, and maybe trying to find a solution. Maybe magic can help this event. Maybe magic and the power he's gained can be useful. But something's been going on. Something is calling out to Deku. And Deku, he got a response from it. He called back to it and asked it what it wanted, why it's calling to him. And it just said one thing. It wants him. And Deku was confused. He wanted to try and figure this out, understand what was going on. But something else happened. He turned around and saw that in his bed was Zatanna, the magician. And he's kind of confused. Now, Zatanna actually does someone going to turn and look around. Her going to sit up as she feels definitely drained from her magic. Okay, so she should be in Azarath, but where is that strong magical? Her looking up to see Duville. Presence. Oh, this is definitely odd. Hi, Zatanna. Hi. Um, are we in Azarath? Yes. Um, I'll be right back. Where you go? Deku popping away. And Zatanna is kind of confused. Huh. She didn't know Kryptonians could do that. We do actually cut over to Kara's room. Kara, she was trying to get space from Duville, because his powers, they kept waking her up at night. And right now, Deku, he does want to pop into her room and bring his hand up onto her shoulder. Him going to wake her up. Kara, there's a situation. Hmm? What? I'm trying to sleep. There's a magician in my bed. What? Her going to turn and look at him. What did you just say? There's a magician in my bed. That's what I thought you said. Okay, so who is it? Zatanna. Zatanna is in your bed. Are you sure it wasn't just a dream? Now, Deku is going to grab onto Kara. Him going to pick her up bridal style as the two going to teleport back to his room. And Kara, she's actually a bit more caught by surprise. Because she's never teleported before. At least not like that. And then there is where she's going to look around and see Zatanna. Her staying on her feet and making her way towards the door. As there is where Deku is going to pop up and Zatanna does going to turn. Hmm? You're back. Yeah, sorry. So, why are you here, Zatanna? Right, I needed help. I'm trying to figure a few things out, and my father, Dr. Fate, he's also trying to understand a few things. Understand how? Well, I was trying to find aid in magical arts, and I cast a spell that drained me, and that's how I ended up here. So you came to Azrath to try and learn the magic here? No, I came to Azrath because I felt a strong magical presence here. I thought it was Raven, and I thought that maybe I could seek her help. Understand a lot more. Maybe make a deal with her father? Right, long story short, Zatanna, Trigon's dead. And I sort of took his power. Are you serious? Yeah. I stole the Heart of Darkness. And a lot of demons tried to battle me for it. I took them all down. So I just need to learn more about this. That's what I'm doing right now. Interesting. Perhaps I could be of assistance. Has Raven been helping you? Raven's given me guidance, but she's dealing with her own situation, so I'm doing this on my own. She's giving me guidance where I need it, but reading something and understanding it is different. I see. Perhaps I could be of assistance then. I can gather my father and Dr. Fate. Maybe the helmet can help you focus more? Perhaps understand your abilities better. Then again, there is a problem that if the helmet doesn't let you go, that would be an issue. That does sound like an issue, Zatanna, because I rather like my body being where it is. I know I'm not weak to magic anymore, but I don't know if that helmet will still cling to me like a parasite. The helmet isn't a parasite, it's what? The helmet invaded your father's mind, Zatanna. I know that. Don't act like I don't. And no, the helmet took over your father's mind. And how long has it held him? It's held him for years. I know. So if it doesn't want to let me go, I'm not wearing that helmet. I'd smash it before I wear it. Okay. Then perhaps Constantine could be of aid. Constantine. You want to get John Constantine to help us? I do. Your magic is unfocused. It's great. It's incredibly powerful, but you don't know how to harness it properly. I will help teach you skills. However, how about we all have breakfast first? I'm starving. Now, Zatanna, she does get let out of the room, and she's a bit more surprised by a few things that are happening. She knows that Raven, she went off the grid. I mean, a lot of heroes did. And some of the heroes she knows went off the grid, they're here. Now, Deku, he does sure at least gloss over a lot with Zatanna. And Zatanna, she does at least try to give Deku some pointers. And Raven, she also does try to give Deku a few bits of things she knows about her father's power. Her father's power is violent. It stems from evil, and it's also empowered by it. Which means, him being the god of war and possessing Trigon's power, it sort of goes hand in hand. He's powered by violence and he's an avatar of violence. So, that does say quite a bit. And Deku, he's actually a bit more intrigued. And he does start to begin something. Zatanna starts to teach him the ways of magic. She tries to teach him the ways of this violent power. And Deku, well, he was already getting a better handle on it. He has a proper teacher now. And his abilities, he starts to feel them focus more. Instead of just looking out at things and fixing them or trying to focus on them the way he does, he now has a proper idea of what to do. It's like he went from step 1 to step 7 or 8, but now he's reading step 2 and understanding how to progress. Eventually step 3 will come, then 4, then 5. And then he'll know how to get to step 8. Now, Deku, he does start to meditate, along with even read a few things, and even repeat what Zatanna does say to him. And there actually is back over with Alexander Luthor. Alexander, he's almost ready to begin this experiment. However, something else is going on. Superboy Prime, he's worried about his own home. He wants to go back there desperately. And he wants the experiment to be used to try and recreate his Earth first. But that would be an issue. A major one. If they recreate the Prime Universe first, they don't know what could happen. I mean, it could be that the universe does restart, but they would all be variations of the Prime Universe. And that Earth was defenseless. So, I mean, they could try and find an Earth, create one that's like the Prime Earth, but will it ever actually truly work? Now, Alexander, he has a few things go through his mind. He's not even really too sure if all this will work. At this point, they're grasping desperately at solutions, and he wants this to work. He wants to create a perfect world, and truly allow it to be perfect. And Superboy, yeah, with Prime, he is going a bit more crazy. He wants to go home. He wants to go back to being the only superhero on his planet. Things were better there. Things weren't dangerous. Things weren't this extreme. And he wasn't tainted like he is here. He's the only incorruptible superhero. That's how his mind is right now. Superman has already gone bad once. And the other Superman, well, the two are on the same side. They want to restart everything. But is this the right solution? Now, Alexander, he's getting a few more things in order. And right now, Deku, he currently does sit back in Azarath. Right now, he's in a deep meditative state. And Zatanna, she sits there with Deku as he does sit there floating in the air. And he's just trying to focus. He's surprised. He's felt the power of rage. He's felt the power it gives him. The anger, the rage, the bloody violence, all of it. He remembers being a Red Lantern. His mind was clouded by rage to the point where he almost went insane. He remembers being the avatar for this thing, this entity. And then there was all the violence, the bloodshed, the countless he's murdered. And then there's, well, the horror of it all. Seeing it play out in front of you again and again. That's what the God of War is. Every single conflict could be considered a war. Existence could be considered a war. Survival is the objective in war, not winning. Because there's no winners. There's just the survivors and the people who lost everything. And Deku, he can feel it. He can feel this power. And then there's his heartbeat. He hears it over and over. But it feels different somehow. Deku gonna open his eyes. And he does feel focused. And he looks around. Everything feels a little different. Everything feels steadier? No, not slower. More focused? No. His powers. Deku gonna bring his hands up and try and create something. And there is where Deku, he does create a book in front of him. Him staring at it, as there actually is Zatanna, who looks on with a bit of surprise. Deku didn't say anything, but then he does have the book float towards him, and he goes to open it. And it is exactly what he thought it was. He created the book perfectly from memory. And, perfect. Interesting. You're getting better control. Yeah, but I need to do something. I need to... Don't disturb me. Whenever I come to, whatever conclusion I'm at, I need to figure this out. Whatever is calling to me, I need to search out for it. It might have a solution to this problem. What are you talking about? Deku turning to Zatanna. He doesn't know, but it wants him to find it. It wants him to go to it. And Deku, he does gotta bring his hands up, closing his eyes. And Zatanna does gotta watch. And there actually is back over with everybody else. They're still gathering the energy, the power. And there currently is Earth 2 Superman. He's sitting inside the sun, and he's absorbing energy. His idea was to try and sit here for a while, take back a large amount of power, feel it amplify himself to the point it can no longer do anything. Sit here for a long time, maybe his body can get adjusted to the power. Maybe he can gain more power, get stronger, carry more. That's what he thought. And he feels a bit different. He knows he's strong. He knows he's capable. But what about what's going to happen? He's worried about Lois. Her health as of late. It's been getting worse. And he's worried that she might be dying. The world they're in, the world they're on, it's chaotic. And right now, Superman, he doesn't want Lois Lane to die. He doesn't think he can handle that. And there currently is over with Deku. Deku is still meditating. He was left alone, and they have tried to disturb him. He meditated for hours and hours. And there was whenever Kara went to go see Duville. She went up to the door, and whenever she did, there was the fact that the door, it was locked. Her going to use X-ray vision and look inside. And there is Deku. Deku just sit there floating in the air. Him, with his eyes closed, meditating. And Kara is going to watch. Deku's skin is red, and he has 4 eyes. But his hair, it's not white anymore. It's dark again. It's black. Is something going on with him in there? Now, Kara is a bit more surprised. And there is actually Raven. Raven, she can sense it. Deku, he's trying to find peace, isn't he? He's trying to understand this sensation, his power. Duville's a soldier. He understands chaos. He understands war. He understands that people have to make sacrifices sometimes. He doesn't like it, but he's aware it happens. He's honestly more prepared for death than anyone. And while he may not be the guy who makes a heroic sacrifice, he's the guy you want in your corner. Because he can handle and stomach what he has to do. Now, Deku, he still does sit there meditating. And Kara, she does watch Duville. But there currently is in Deku's mind. He can feel the rage inside of his body. He can feel this heart. The power of thousands of galaxies. It's certainly something. The evil. The atrocities they've committed. The just extent to what it will do. It wants to consume him. But it can't. And Duville? He does finally find it. It took 2 whole days of meditation. But Deku, he started to feel this calmness. But he could also feel it under the surface of his skin. The anger and rage. The wrath. The dark powers. The demonic just presence inside of his own body. He understood. And there was where he opened his eyes. And he went to go stand up. And there was actually Zatanna. Her sitting in the library, reading. She heard something shift. And she turned her head. And there was Deku. Deku stood there looking up. And Zatanna was confused. As Deku brought his hand out. Him staring up towards the sky. And he smiled. His skin red. And his expression. And Zatanna, she felt the presence of evil. It unsettled her, unnerved her, and she didn't know what to do. Her gonna stand up and at least step over to Duville, trying to ask him about what exactly happened. And Deku just got a turn, looking at Zatanna. He gets it. What? I understand. I figured it out. I know what I have to do. Duville? What are you talking about? It has a plan. It has a plan. Deku gonna turn. And Zatanna does go to bring up her hand. He's talking gibberish. And that doesn't sound good. And Zatanna does go to bring up her hand to try and cast a spell. As Deku, he does get at least throw back his hand and twist his wrist. As Zatanna, her mouth disappears. And she's confused. Her bring her hands up and finding that her lips are sealed, quite literally. Now, Deku, he is going to vanish. Him looking at Zatanna as he does going to disappear right in front of her. And Zatanna, she was going to run out the door. Her trying to find anybody and trying to understand what to do. And whenever Raven saw Zatanna without her mouth, she cast a spell to try and undo that. And there was the fact that Zatanna, she tried to talk about it. Something is wrong with Duville. He's being consumed by that power. It's taken over his mind. And she fears about what it's going to do to him. And Raven, yeah. She just heard that Duville might have just gone bad. Fuck. Now, Raven, she does not like that. And there currently is where she does go to try and reach out. And everybody, they don't have a good time. And we do actually have over with Lex Luthor. Lex, he was monitoring a few things in the situation. But there currently was where he sends Deku go back to Earth 1, or Universe 1. He was just doing something different. And Deku, he went flying out. He was blasting through the cosmos, trying to find it. And there was over with Brainiac. Brainiac was sitting in his ship, trying to understand what to do. He has a few ideas and things in his mind. How to escape this crisis, as the humans have called it? Yes. A crisis so big that no one can escape it. Even him. His intellect. It's definitely being pushed past its utility. No. He must figure this out. He is one of the smartest men in the universe, if not the smartest. So why exactly can't he solve this crisis? Now, Deku does come flying in, and Brainiac's a bit more surprised. He does not know this Kryptonian, and Deku is going to talk to Brainiac, expressing to him about what's happening. And Brainiac's a bit more confused. He's willing to give them up, but he's not sure. And Deku just tried to tell him about what to do. And Brainiac, he does listen. As we do actually have with Kara. Kara, she heard about it. And Alexander, he was definitely intrigued. Brainiac was able to find them. He locked on to their vibration frequency. And then he came here with something. He held up a case. It was made of some sort of metal. And Alexander, he just stared on. As Brainiac, he tried to explain what every box behind him contained. He tried to explain about the miniaturized suns inside of his solar plaza. And that was where Alexander, he had a realization. He knew exactly what to do. If he does put these directly into the machine, I mean, they'll be destroyed in the process, but they'll have energy. Enough power. And this is perfect. Now, as Alexander does get ready, he does start to put them through the process. He needs these suns to be turned into pure raw energy. Whenever he does set off the reaction, these things will be destroyed, and their energy will be dispersed into the new universe. All the energy they'd ever produce in their lifetime will be dispersed. And that should save everything. And Brainiac, yeah, being the man who saved the multiverse, along with being the smartest in one of those universes, he'll wear that badge with honor. Now, he'll wear it like a smug asshole. Anyways, now, that's what that does mean. Anyways, with that being said, Brainiac, he does try to get this process done. He starts to have some of his robots begin the process of putting these things into, well, the machine. And he even has to discuss with Alexander about what's happening. But there is back with Deku. Deku, he has made his way somewhere very far out in the universe. A place no one can really find him, see him. A place at the edge of the universe. And right now, Deku, He floats in front of the source wall, and he goes to call out. He calls out for this divine force, whatever this thing calling to him is. The two are near the same level. The two are companions in awareness. They know, they can sense, and they're here. They're staring at the source wall, and he does hear it. It calls to him. It wants him to touch the wall. It wants him to come to the other side and learn. It wants him to understand its secrets. There are many people unworthy to gain them, but there are also people who can't have them. And Deku, he is one of the very few individuals who might do right with the power. If all of creation is destroyed, it itself will be eliminated. And if it does need to preserve its own cosmic presence, preserve itself, it will. There is very little chance the universe may be affected. But, just in case, it will try and make sure its own cosmic existence is fulfilled. Its role as the guardian, the barrier, must be preserved. So, what it will do is help preserve itself. And Deku, he reaches his hand out, him grabbing onto the wall, and he does start to feel it. He feels it creeping onto his hand. He feels it beginning to pull him in. He feels it go up his arm. And there's where Deku is going to bring out his other hand, as he goes to start merging into the wall. Now, there actually is Kara. Kara heard about what was going on, and it seemed strange. She tried to find Duville, and Alexander, he didn't know where Duville was. No one did. He just took off out in space. So, where is he right now? We do actually cut to Duville. As the source wall, it stands there high and mighty. It stands there with cosmic figures inside of it, adding more to its own power. And one cosmic figure who just joined part of the wall is Duville Zod. And there is where his statue just float there. It, with its arms directly inside the source wall. As the statue, its eyes are filled with surprise. No. Understanding. And there is Deku's mentality, where he is right now. Deku, he finds himself floating. He finds himself somewhere strange. And then he does start to hear it. The overbearing voice. It goes to speak. Hello, Zod. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.